This is a Beanbag Chair Media production.
And welcome to Anime Noise.
I'm Garrett. I'm a performing musician by trade, graduated with a bachelor's degree in music production, and have been binging anime for almost 2 decades.
And I'm Emily. I'm a classically trained violinist and have been indulging in the animes since I was a wee little human.
And this is an anime review podcast, where we help the new viewer decide where they want to start while taking the superfan on a deep dive into the overlooked realm of music and sound effects.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
And welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yes, we are excited to be here, as usual.
In
it's the week of Christmas, and we're so excited.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. We said it on the last one, but we'll say it again.
We can say it as many times as we want.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
So today's episode is gonna be a dark one.
Very dark. It's
very
actually
dark.
Opposite of Christmas, I think.
Yeah, so we didn't time this very well.
We didn't time it very well. Not like the Soul Eater episode where we timed that with Halloween. That was kind of perfect.
Oh yeah. But you know, this has some nice lightheartedness to it as well. I won't hate on it too much in the dark, gruesome area. I enjoyed the anime, so without further,
it's really dark.
That's true.
It is gory and dark and just, it's gross. It's a gross one. You guys might like it. It might be perfect for Christmas, you know?
That's true.
A nice irony.
I mean, people liked Die Hard.
That's right.
That's a Christmas movie. But without much further ado, we are going to be reviewing Elfen, which is not how we were saying it the whole time we were watching it. We pronounced it Elfen Lied.
That's how it's spelled.
It's spelled like that, but it is German.
But it's German, so it's Lied.
It's actually with a T.
With a T?
Yeah.
They turn their D's into T's?
They turn their D's into T's.
Well, that's
Elfen
weird.
Lied.
Well, now you guys know.
I apparently speak better German than I speak Japanese.
And you guys already heard a portion of this song, or at least the intro song, because we threw it in our intro. Emily covered it on the violin.
I did.
Little Easter egg for you.
Yeah, it was great. Don't watch the bloopers.
Definitely go to our Instagram and watch the bloopers. We have her performance, and then right after that, an entire blooper reel of her trying to record it. She doesn't do much recording.
I don't, and I'm not very good at performing in front of other people. I had it down when nobody was in the house, and then now somebody's watching me, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, there's a word for that. It's called the red button syndrome.
Yeah, it was definitely a
Everybody
syndrome.
gets it.
Except Garrett.
I do. I get it all the time. Do you know how many takes I do to record something? Because I'll like slightly buzz on a fret or whatever it is. It's a minor mistake that probably nobody would hear, but I want a better take. I can do it better.
Yeah, I could definitely do the take I took, but I had to be like, no, we have to do something about this. So let's just post it.
We did it, and it sounds good, and you can only get better from here, you know?
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's jump right into it. So this anime aired July through October of 2004. It's 13 episodes. It's a really short one to get through. If you're bingers, you can probably get through it in like a few days. It has an OVA, and all of the episodes are 25 minutes each. It was directed by Mamoru Kanbei. He's also the director for Promised Neverland, which is, I've heard from,
we haven't seen it yet,
from our friend Preston that we need to watch it. So
I've heard it's really good. Yeah,
I've heard it's good. So I'm really excited for that one. It was produced by Studio Arms, who have also done the animation for Mob Psycho, To Love Rue, Your Line April, which we just finished last night.
That was so sad. Oh my god.
I've seen it a few times beforehand, but Garrett had never seen it.
That was my first time seeing Your Lie in April, and I just had tears pouring down my face.
Yeah.
It was for the 3 episodes at the end.
Every tear duct that you could stimulate was stimulated. And I still cry even watching it. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Terrible.
So produced by the same studio, so probably worth a watch, eh?
Yeah, I would say so.
The music production was done by VAP or VAP. They've also done the music for Hunter x Hunter, Parasite, and Wolf Children. It's licensed by Sentai Filmworks and Madman Entertainment.
Every time we give credit to these guys that are producing anime like this, we always list off some of the other stuff that they've done, and I feel like I've watched a ton of anime, and every time we list off all these animes, I'm like, holy shit, I haven't watched that. I know.
You think you're like, man, I've got some anime at my belt, but then you turn around and you're like, oh, well, I haven't watched that yet. Oh, look at that. I haven't watched that one either.
I know. We need to get on some of these. I've heard so many good things.
I feel like we can only binge so much. So
that's true. We need to also stay healthy.
Yeah, we're currently in the middle of how many right now? Probably like 5.
Well, I mean, a lot of them we can't binge anymore because we see like they come out every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still a part of our ongoing watch.
So we have like a binge day, but in anime time, 3 episodes is still under a movie.
That's
you know?
True. That's true.
It's not that bad.
You're not wrong.
All right, back to the show. Series composition. The script was written by Takeo?
I think it's Takeo.
Takeo Yoshioka. He also did High School DxD, Your Lie in April as well.
Ugh, fuckers.
Yeah, you got me again. The manga writer and creator was Lin Okamoto. Mm-hmm. God, I'm terrible at this today.
Yeah. Karma's a real bitch.
Karma's a bitch. His other works are not really known or vaguely known outside of Japan. He has done You Are Independent, My Queen. Indecent. Bad handwriting. My fault. You Are Indecent, My Queen.
You just blamed it on me, though. You said it was bad handwriting, and it's my handwriting.
They don't know that, though. I was trying to just be nice to you. He also did Flip Flap.
That's a fun one. I want to
sounds fun.
I want to read that.
Just from the title. The manga debuted in 2000 with the first short story manga with it was called Elfen Lied, but it actually doesn't have any connection to this storyline.
Right.
He originally started writing a love story, but he felt that he wasn't confident enough to write a love story at the time, so he went on a much darker route, that is for sure.
Yeah. One of the things that like I was telling Garrett is it kind of makes you think of like what kind of headspace are you in that you write an anime script as this? Because if you've watched it, you'll know that this is it starts out already like from the very beginning, just completely gory and bloodshed.
It certainly was not a love story headspace.
No, it wasn't. And so the fact that he didn't feel confident enough to write a love story and instead turned around and he's like, I really wanted to do this, but that's really not where my head was thinking.
He had some shit on his chest, that's for sure. He got that shit off.
Yeah, he did. All right. So now that we've kind of given you a little bit of a background on where this is at, let's give you a summary to kind of give you a broad idea of what we're talking about here. The show focuses on a mutated human species called the Diclonius. The Diclonius are said to be like the next evolved form of humans. And it follows a particular Dicloni that is named Lucy. And when Lucy escapes her captivity from a science lab, 2 locals take her in and trouble constantly arises.
Sure does.
It takes you on an emotional roller coaster. It takes you on a gruesome roller coaster. And we'll let you just figure out the rest because I think that you should go watch it, especially with all of the historical background that I have found to be a part of this anime.
Fair warning, though, there is tons of nudity and gore and like, yeah, it is. It'll question your morals a little bit.
And it's not even like a nudity, like fan servicey nudity. It is nudity in an instinctual way.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Primitive.
Yeah, it's very primitive. Like she's the next evolved. So think about like society as a whole right now, like the whole like free the nipple movement. Like they're straying away from like our next evolved form wouldn't even care if we fucking wore clothes.
Because of the abilities.
And now I just want to be a Diclonius.
Who doesn't?
I know. So, and the reason that instinctual and that I'm coming to that conclusion is the themes that are involved in this anime. They're very real topics. And they involve social alienation, identity, prejudice, revenge, abuse, jealousy, regret, and the value of humanity as a whole.
Totally a love story.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Not at all. Holy shit.
But it is in some form or fashion, like within the script.
I mean, they sprinkled it in there.
They sprinkled it, but I mean, in a generalized setting, like, this chick is like torn on who to be. She has like a multiple personality disorder, and she can't decide which personality fits her best.
Well, I think she knows that primitively what actually fits her best, but she doesn't want to be that.
But she doesn't want to, right? So it's like...
She doesn't want that to be her best.
And that's why regret is a thing.
And revenge. Yeah,
and revenge.
It's just covered in drama. It's awesome.
Yeah.
For our homies in the States, Adult Swim wanted to pick it up for their lineup. However, the censorship board of the United States said that due to the amount of heavy editing, it would have been unintelligible. You couldn't really, you just have to watch it. It's on Hulu, so they couldn't put it on Adult Swim. They can't put it on TV. That should give you an idea of
the
how
trigger warning we're giving you.
And intense this show is. But yeah, unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to watch it on TV.
Yeah, it would have to be heavily edited.
Mm-hmm. It influenced the Duffer Brothers when they were making Stranger Things. And looking back on it in hindsight, it definitely has some Elfen Lied all in Stranger Things.
Oh yeah,
in particular with the main character.
And I think that was like a big thing for them. They actually modeled 11 after Lucy. Yeah.
This anime comes with a ton of historical context. Like, for instance, the main Diclonius character's name is Lucy, after the oldest human ancestor whose fossilized remains were found in Ethiopia. The reason it's called Elfen Lied is from a poem, Elfen Lied. I keep saying it wrong.
I know.
By Edward Munch, and then a song by Hugo Wolf. The song featured in the manga, given it the name, is not actually featured in the anime.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that were in the anime that were not in the manga, and a lot of things in the manga that weren't in the anime. Which I just give me a visual representation of the manga in a fullest. I can't wait until the day.
Me neither.
Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on to the opener. I think that was a good amount of information to kind of set it up for how much you should go watch the anime, but nothing sets it up quite like this song that is very much random.
It is and it isn't.
It is and it isn't. But like when before you start doing the research and you're looking at all these things, yeah, it doesn't seem out of place. But when you're going into it for the first time, you're like, well, this is kind of
You definitely don't know what to expect.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Do they play this first before? I think they do, right?
I think they play it.
This is one of those animes that actually plays the intro in the pilot episode at the beginning.
Yeah. Normally when you watch an anime for the first time, not normally.
It's becoming a modern thing. Like with most modern anime, they will just throw you right into the middle of the story at the pilot episode and then wait to play the actual intro of the anime for the outro. Credits. They use it as the outro first, and then you click next on the next episode and you get it again right away. So you almost get it back to back. I feel like it's more of a modern anime characteristic than it is for some of the older stuff. Like Dragon Ball Z and
that's true.
Naruto, things like that.
That's true. Yeah. Which is crazy because it came out in 2004.
That's not really.
It was a long time ago, Garrett.
I know. We're coming. It's almost an antique at this point. It's almost a classic.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
20 years old.
Like, all of these people were so young, and now they've got kids and they're married, and all these singers that we're about to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the opener is called Lilium. It was written for this anime by a musical group called Mocha, who did the composition and the lyrics jointly. So they both just sat down and wrote this song, it's a beautiful song. It was performed by Kumiko Noma. She's a soprano opera singer and is part of the Tokyo Nikikai Opera Foundation. And this intro seems to be her only most known solo work. She's mostly just done stuff with the opera, which is pretty fantastic. And she's very talented.
It's incredibly talented.
Incredibly talented.
Mocha, approached by director Mamoru Kanbei, requesting only that the opening theme should be religious music, which explains quite a lot because this is... We'll get into it. Never mind. We'll save that for actually when we're analyzing the lyrics and stuff. It is heavily religious. Lyrics are in Latin because Kaio Kanishi sang hymns in Latin while in mission school, giving her inspiration to create a contemporary Gregorian-like hymn. The lyrics are also based on Psalms and the letter of James and an Ave.
And a Kyrie, too.
And a Kyrie.
Yeah, which is... It's just a lot.
It's very religious.
Just put a bunch of religious shenanigans in there, and they're like, let's roll with it.
Yep.
In 2005, the Mocha Duo released an album through their own producers that featured 5 versions of the song. All of them are mixed choral, Jesus, with variations on the organ, piano. They did an organ karaoke, a piano karaoke, and they also did an a cappella version.
God damn.
Nowhere in there is the freaking violin version, though, which is sad as shenanigans.
That's okay. We know it's there. We found it.
Yeah. Meh.
The animation in both the opening and closing credits are modeled after Gustav Klimt. His paintings are featured all over the world. The animation designed by Reen Sheen, who is known for his animation in To Love Ru, worked on the credit scenes exclusively. So he modeled this after Gustav Klimt.
Yes,
his
very paintings all over the world.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
Is it time to listen to it?
It's time.
Let's listen to it.
It's
Here we go.
time to do it.
Give me 1 second to pull it up. All right, this is Lilium. Super religious,
and her voice just rings like it's almost like she was meant to sing this piece.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievably beautiful.
I've sang this in my head so many times, it's like hard not to hum along to it.
Yeah, I mean, you learned on the violin.
I did.
I think it's really cool how in the animation, I know this isn't about the music, but the animation is like he somehow combined the religious sort of artwork of Gustav Klimt with anime. His own anime drawings. It's cool. And that is the intro.
Yeah, and it is. It's just so it's beautiful, and you can tell that it's like it clearly sounds like it's religious, but it also fits so well into the anime. So it's one to go listen to, especially if you like that kind of music. I know that a lot of people I was reading on Reddit that a lot of people wanted to find anime songs that were similar to this, and it's very difficult because this isn't a typical anime song.
Not at all.
So I thought it was kind of brilliant that they threw that in there as a representation of what the director actually wanted.
And I love how, because it is not only religious in the lyrics, it's religious in the music. Like even the first thing you hear is a bell, and it sounds like a church bell.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a church bell for a funeral. It's really dark and cool how they captured that.
Yeah, and even in the full version, so we showed you the TV edit because it's within the anime. That's kind of what we do. But go listen to the full version as well, because there are so many, the way that they change up the versions of the lyricism and the way they use a violin, they use a music box.
Oh, you mean throughout the entire
song?
Yeah, they actually incorporate pieces of that throughout the entire anime.
The
itself.
Anime, it's a theme.
It is the theme of this anime, and it's really cool because like the main character Kota has a music box that plays this song when he opens it.
But then they play it like the violin throughout too. Like they use it as like almost like a somber and like kind of sad.
Every kind of instrument plays it. Like no matter, it just depends on the setting that you're in. So they incorporate it. Even the characters hum it.
Yeah.
Throughout. So it's cool.
Yeah,
I love how they did that.
I love how they incorporated it. Let's look at the lyrics.
Yeah,
because I wanna bring it back to how they use it,
like religiously.
So I mean, she essentially repeats the lyrics over and over again. So it's a really short. It's very short amount of lyrics. The mouth of the just shall meditate wisdom, and his tongue shall declare judgment. Right off the bat, already
talking about God.
Yeah. Blessed is he who endureth temptation, for once he hath been tested, he shall receive the crown of life. O Lord, fountain of holiness, O Lord, fire divine, have mercy. O how holy, how serene, how generous, how pleasant this virgin who believeth. O how holy, how serene, how generous, how pleasant, how O pure lily.
And I can't help but think, like, obviously when you think religion, you think of Virgin Mary in this instance, but it's actually, in my opinion, I think it's really about Lucy, the main character.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of a drastic contrast, because she is nothing like the Virgin Mary. Nothing. It is religious in a dark way.
Yes. It's that God is spiteful kind of vibe.
Or more like maybe it is kind of spiteful. I wasn't thinking about God, but if he created Diclonius, and which is what they're getting at, yeah, they almost look at humans as insects.
Absolutely. And I truly believe, after everything I've read and everything that I've researched, that this is all about like instinctual primitivity. Everything that you think of when something new arises, and how it's just like how fucking trends on social media work. Like, you know, it's becoming new. This is the new thing, and this is how you continue to grow. And that's essentially how life came to be. We have evolved, and we've moved on, and we've grown, and we will continue to do that. And that's essentially what this anime conveys, and what this song is really meant to perceive.
But also in a way that not only are we evolving and we're getting better and we're growing as a species, but almost like because a few have evolved and a few are still stuck in the primitive past, they are looked down upon severely. Like they are worthless now because we've already evolved. Right. Now you're worthless.
Yeah.
Although the way they behave is, and I'm not talking about Diclonius, I'm talking about the actual humans of the show. It is primitive, and they do almost come across as worthless.
Yes. Yeah. Go fucking watch the anime.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. So, there's a couple more lines, but we've already read them.
Yeah,
we've already read
them. A repeat.
Yeah.
It repeats lyrics from before. So I guess now on to the outro.
On to the outro. We're going to do the soundtrack last. We have a lot to say about it, but we're also not going to try and talk your ear off.
Yeah, no. We'll keep it relatively brief.
Yeah. So the outro song is called Be Your Girl. It's performed by Chieko Kawabe. She's a J-pop singer, model, actress, and radio show host. She sang this at the young age of 17. And this one makes me laugh every time. She did the theme song for the dubbed version of Lizzie McGuire. I don't know if any of you other 90s babies remember that show here in the States, but I'm glad that it was popular everywhere else too. Yeah. Oh, Hilary Duff. And she also did the theme for Urin High School Host Club. So the song was composed by Daisuke Kato, and the lyrics were by Megumi Hyuga. Really not a whole lot of credentials for them. I Googled their names, went through the first 5 pages, and couldn't find anything. So that's a bummer. But this song was released April 2004 as a single and later released on an album, Brilliance, in 2005 under the same label as the album. So let's give it a listen. We were really skeptical about this one being in the anime.
Yeah, I honestly do not think it fits, but we'll let you decide after this. We're going to analyze it too. So here is the last song. What's it called again?
Be Your Girl.
Be Your Girl. Here it is.
With almost the same animation as before. So it's...
Yeah, but lamer. It's just one picture that they zoom in on.
Way to be blunt, Garrett. Coming from the intro and then having the outro, I can see how it would fit in that when we were talking about multiple personalities. But at the same time,
sounds like this could have been the theme song for Japanese Lizzie McGuire.
It's true. And it kind of violates everything that I want anime music to be, because it follows that same pattern where you've got this really like dark ending and then it starts playing this song. And it's like, what the fuck? That now you've left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
But there's always a reason. But there's nothing like super noticeable about the instrumentation. There's nothing noticeable, like anything to talk about
it's
with
just like a
the
cheesy
song.
It's a cheesy song. It's almost like an analogy for this is like having this really rich, decadent meal,
yeah,
and then giving it to Mabry, Emily's daughter, and having her squirt ketchup all over it.
That's true.
That's what this song is to this anime. It is the ketchup.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so man, no, not that good.
Yeah, it's not fitting, but it's
that one
okay.
gets a D for me.
It's okay. It's all right. I understand what they were trying to do, but I don't think it was conveyed the way that anybody was hoping for.
Let's look at the lyrics, because actually musically it gets an F from me. It really does.
Okay.
But let's go to the lyrics and see if the lyrics fit any better. I'm going to start this off by saying that we're not really sure if this is translated correctly. We couldn't find, all of them are pretty close, so it's got to be close. But even the lyrics on the show are actually a little different than the lyrics in this. So we're just going to read you on the one from this page. But it's either maybe or baby.
It could be either.
It could be either. It sounds like she's saying maybe, but on the subtitles of the actual show, it says baby.
Yeah.
But this one has maybe. Yeah.
I feel like maybe might be accurate because, again, she's like torn between
That's
her
true.
feels.
They both work.
So they both work. I just don't know. I don't know.
Well, you have maybe I want to be your girl. Maybe all I need is you. Even like that, even by your side, even like this, receiving your love. Without time on my side, I can't become your girlfriend. Many times I thought that it's fine, even like that, although I'm sharing you with someone else, resenting it. I've cried countless times, even if it's just a lie to comfort me. Say that I'm the only one.
Do you... This is a quick analysis. Do you think this is coming from Lucy, or do you think it's coming from the cousin?
I think it's coming from the cousin.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
That's really weird.
It makes it even weirder because they're cousins.
Yeah.
And we don't find that out until... Actually, no, we do find that out early on, and I just forget. It is weird.
Yeah.
Like, why are these kids this age living alone? I understand why he might be, but why is she?
Yeah, I don't know. Her parents still exist. Anyways.
I guess let's keep this going. Many times I thought that it's fine, even like that. Oh, wait, I already read that part. I'm sorry. Without the anesthetic of your kiss, it begins to hurt. Have you already returned? It's shameful to shed tears here, so I grip my teeth, enduring it all. And then the chorus again. Hey, please, you're the only one in my heart. Tell me that I'm the only one you love. There's only one thing that I want. I desire nothing but every part of you. Instead of running, I try to see what's next with my own eyes. In the world waiting ahead along this path, even if I get hurt again, it definitely won't stop me because of this feeling. And the chorus again. And then, yeah, song sucks.
Yeah, I don't think it fits. I think maybe if the song itself had been done differently, the lyrics and the song would have fit. Right now, it just seems like the lyrics fit to a certain degree, but adding with
it doesn't fit the show.
With
it fits one character.
Right, but I mean, a lot of times that's what happens.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it's not. I don't know. I don't think that that's what this entire theme. If it's an outro, it should wrap up the entire show, right? In a sense.
Yes, but you also they do play very well on that chick's emotions every time like he goes to like do something with Lucy. Like she's a jealous bitch.
She's a bit annoying.
She is. The character is very annoying. But at the same time, there's a lot of...
I feel for her a little bit.
Like
but then I don't.
Like
the
even
more I think about it.
Even in Fairy Tale, there's a ton of characters, but sometimes the outros like actually like point out one character.
That's true. But
so I mean,
I
it's not uncalled for.
This is how many episodes?
13.
13. And the themes that we read off, the alienation, regret, all those things that we listed off earlier, this doesn't capture that.
Oh, and I'm not saying that every part of me is just like,
and that's
it
the only
could
reason
fit,
I say this song sucks, because I'm being harsh here, but it sucks when you fit it with this anime. It's a pop song. It's a cheesy pop song. So it is what it is. That's not really my favorite thing to listen to. Sometimes it's a guilty pleasure depending on the song, but I'm not hating on you for creating the song here. I'm just hating on you for choosing to put this one in this anime. You have such a beautifully dark intro and religious intro, and then you go into this as the outro. You want to capture and send home those themes, and this is what you pick.
I don't disagree with you. I don't. But if your argument was going to be that it was because of the one character, that's an invalid argument.
Yeah. I just don't. I mean, I don't think that she was as an important character as the rest of everybody.
No,
everybody
she
else.
wasn't. She wasn't.
So again, even if you were going to pick one character, why her?
But I mean, one of the themes was jealousy.
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not completely.
It seems like a stretch to me.
Yeah, no, it is a stretch. Absolutely, it is a stretch. It doesn't work. It's too bright of a song for this anime.
Yeah. So, but that's the only negative thing that we had to say about this anime.
Yeah,
I really think.
I mean, there's a lot of things that you know what? I'll save that for the end. Let's move on to the soundtrack.
Yeah, let's move on to the soundtrack. The composers, Kaio Kanishi and Yukio Kondo, the partners of Mocha, also worked on music in Noragami Arigato.
Love
and
that
Lost
show.
Forest. Noragami's sick. That score was great too. The sound effects were phenomenal. I love the sound design of that. Okay, that's not that show.
We'll get to it. I
do that all the time, I swear, in every podcast.
You just keep the tradition going.
Yeah, the soundtrack released in October of 2004 under the VAP or VAP label, and has 15 tracks, although the Blu-ray box set version comes with an extra track, which is the violin version.
Yay!
Yeah, pretty killer.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy that they threw it in somewhere. Just, Blu-ray box set.
We're going to add it to our YouTube playlist, so you can go listen to the violin version.
Yeah, because I want you to, so you can see how horrible my version is.
Oh, shut up.
And go listen to a really good version.
I also was the audio engineer on this one, and I didn't do such a hot job. I've never done strings before.
I'm going to have to fucking record more, aren't I?
Yeah, a lot more.
Cool. It's cool. So this soundtrack signified the emergence of this anime as a cultural phenomena. The music is well chosen within the anime. And it blends well with the brutal scenes as well as the sentimental scenes. And guys, the soundtrack does exactly that. When we were listening to it, I think just that overall theme of it does precisely that. Many of the tracks are said to reference Kamakura, which is the setting for this show, which is where the writer of the manga actually got the setting from, because he could imagine the setting, like he could imagine different buildings and different things that were there. So it was really easy for him to write the story according to the setting. But it signified this representing the Buddhist and Shinto religious center, using instruments that relate to purification and reincarnation. I wanted to find out more about the anime, the instruments that they were used that did that. It was so hard to find them, and even listening, it's even hard to pick out what a fucking saxophone sounds like, because they distort and they do so many.
They do a lot of cool effects to it,
right? So they could be, and it could sound
also,
like something
on that
completely
saxophone
different.
In particular, I'm almost 100% sure. I'm like 99.9% sure there's a saxophone, but they picked the tiniest saxophone too.
But it also could be a flipping clarinet, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's so much
brassy.
There's so much there's so many effects that they've added that it is, unless it's a stringed instrument, I can't tell what it is.
We're also only doing this with our ears.
Yeah, that's true.
We are strictly analyzing this with our ears. Even the stuff that we found on we can't find any performances of it.
No.
At least like not of the original one. They don't really do a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff. For any anime, what the hell is that?
I know. Step
your game up.
You've got freaking
Japan.
DVDs that come out, and there's like all this extra. Maybe we just have to buy box sets. Is that it? Do we just need to buy box sets of all these animes?
Is the behind the scenes in the box set? We don't know for sure.
I don't know, but I feel like if freaking Americans do it, Japanese people should do it, right?
Maybe announce that there's a behind the scenes or something. That way we don't,
say that there's not and there really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just blow our money on buying a box set
and it actually not be there.
Yeah, because we already have streaming services that have all this stuff. So whatever.
So annoying.
In 2019, Tiger Labs Vinyl released the Elfen Lied soundtrack on vinyl. They also released the 1977 Berserk.
Yeah, the anime Berserk.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. This was last year.
I also didn't know it was a 1977 anime. I mean, I know the story, but there's a lot of like spin-offs of Berserk.
There's so many. There's so many. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool that somebody had put it on vinyl. I want to hear that. I want it.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably can't afford it.
Not right now.
No.
Unless you guys want to go to Buy Me a Coffee, which is really buy us a vinyl.
Not really, though. We have priorities.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not going to listen to the soundtrack today.
We're not going to show it to you anyway. We kind of want you to listen to it.
It's one of those things that you should, if you're like cleaning the kitchen or, just chilling, reading a book, it's a really nice one to put on because you've got a variety of different emotions being conveyed through with this soundtrack.
I don't know about reading a book. It depends on the book, I guess. But
it depends on the book. If I'm reading
there's some dark, creepy shit in this soundtrack. And
that's true.
It is borderline distracting and it makes you feel a little anxious. It triggers some emotions inside you.
The chaos.
Yeah, no, it's done very well.
Yeah.
So I guess let's get into our notes. We listened to it before we started the podcast, re-listened to it, and kind of wanted to pick out some
just like various parts that really just stood out among the rest.
And again, we will add it to our YouTube playlist so you can go listen to it directly or just go watch the show and see where it all fits in with the characters and the setting and all that stuff.
Yeah, because if you have watched the anime, you'll hear the soundtrack and you'll know exactly where that music is playing and what's happening.
You'll understand.
Yeah. Take it away, Garrett.
All right, let's get into some of my notes here.
That's how I say his name whenever I'm like being a sarcastic bitch.
Yeah, shh. Don't be a sarcastic bitch. We have an audience here.
I'm sorry. It's so easy.
It is so easy for you. One of the first songs, like right after Elfen Lied, at least on the soundtrack, is one called Katsubo. There's a lot of cool contrasting things that they did with the strings. One in particular being strings kind of represent sadness, but they can also represent fear and rage and just evil kind of vibes here. So what they do that's really cool is they make the strings in the bass sound really, really intense.
Very much so. Like it vibrates within your soul.
Yeah, it's really cool, that cello that they use. But then they contrast that immediately with a phrase that is very sweet with the violins.
Mm-hmm.
The phrasing is sad and sweet and not so evil, not so maniacal. So I thought that was cool. They didn't just use the strings as sad. They countered the phrasing to make it a little more sweet, and they also contrasted the dark side of it with the bass end, and then you have the other spectrum, the higher end, to represent the sweet. Even though they do get a little sad up in the higher end too, but I thought that was cool. So that was a really interesting piece, and I really think it ties in with the main character, Lucy's feelings, how she's feeling inside of her, because she does essentially have a multiple personality kind of thing going on.
Yep.
So they use the strings really well to kind of represent what's going on within her. Go ahead. I think the next one's you, right?
I kind of just all over the place. I noticed like in one of the songs that we listened to, the cello part in itself, like really showed like how torn the main character is on like her feelings or whether she should follow her instinct. And I love that the instruments can convey that emotion because like, I mean, it's even like in Your Line, April, like, just going through the emotions all in one performance and one piece and being able to paint that picture for you as the audience member. And I think that's really a beautiful thing. And I love the cello. I want to learn it so bad. And so
it's so cool. I mean,
you can hit those really deep tones because it shares the one of the higher strings from the double bass. And so you can really vibrate and create that deep and dark sensation while also going back down to, their highest string and being bouncy and like sentimental and loving. And it's just,
it's cool the way they do it. I mean, and that's why I like film scores and classical music as well. I mean, me, I'm a performer and rocker and love songs like that. But when you think of top 40 music, when you think of just any 3-minute song on the radio, there's not a whole lot of emotional movement in those songs. Usually, there's not a whole lot of emotional movement. But if you think about any human being in existence, your emotions can change in a few seconds. They can change over a few hours. They can change over the course of years, So it's just, it's a lot more natural sounding. And I think they do a good job with the score. Just like playing on everybody's emotions, in particular, showing off the character's emotions.
It's creating imagery. And I think that's a beautiful thing about music is that it doesn't matter. It could be out of context and it would still create the same imagery.
Yeah. And the rest of my notes here, I think, are mostly like things that I heard within a bunch of different songs, just how they did some cool things. So in no particular order, I just wanted to point out their use of playful tones when they're talking about childhood memories and stuff like that, really happy childhood memories, not the bullying ones. But there's a lot of like dancey, playful kind of piano pieces. They also have there's military and attacks, and it's gory and violent. So there's that surprise and terror that they capture in the animation and the storyline. They do a fantastic job with the score. They have this like techno kind of jungle techno beat that's really, really a lot of hi-hat hits. And they throw those hi-hats like it's almost like they have two hi-hats going at the same time, and they throw one to the right side of the speaker and another one to the left, so it sounds like there's shit hitting you on both sides and you never know when it's going to hit. It's cool the way it hits your ears.
Really creates that chaos.
But they also have like to give you this kind of sense of creepy murder. They have this piece that's like a bunch of like broomsticks smacking against the floor, shit getting knocked over, and then they just cover that in really wet, dark reverb, which makes it sound almost far away. You're not sure where it's coming from. So, and then they also have really deep drums, almost a timpani, but it almost sounds deeper than a timpani, tuned in a way that's not quite. It's not a perfect tuning, so it sounds dark and dissonant. And they use cool guitar and piano double stops that sound like they play between, what's the interval? I think it's a major sixth and then the diminished fifth.
Yeah.
Which would make it sound super dissonant and you're not sure how to react. So, and the last thing I noticed was them using a technique that's used for creating like horror movie films. Horror movie films? It's the same word I said twice. That's redundant. Creating horror movies, they use this technique for sound design where you have almost like a giant slinky, big metal heavy slinky, and you have you can also use an open grand piano where you just scrape the inside of the strings with your finger or a piece of metal, and you can scrape that slinky with a piece of metal. So it's just it sounds really creepy and like evil. It's
ominous.
It's very ominous and very dark, and it triggers a little bit of terror. You're not sure where the sound came from, you know?
But
it's not pleasant.
knows.
That's just a trick that I learned
from
being a nerd.
I know.
That's pretty much all the notes I had. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what to listen for when you do finally go watch it. So go watch the show. It's great.
You know, one of the things about this show that really just like kind of blew my mind was when I was researching, there's so many, like even Comic Book Review, the website, like they were like, you know, it's like this was written, I think last year or maybe this year, and it's like 15 years and Elfen lead has like aged in a bad way. And I was like, you know, I just watched this and yeah, I can see how it's not the best anime, but it is a good anime.
Yeah.
Like I loved the storyline. I loved the thoughts. I read an article about how this is really like they did the same thing kind of what we do just in a thesis for school or something like that. And like went through the composition and the theme and the lyrics, but also talking about the background of the themes of the show. And showing how it was very much like based around like Japanese women and culture and traditional culture. And it was really intriguing. And to
like
think
how people are treated.
How people are treated and what they represent and things like that. And, you know, you can tell me all day long how you thought in a pop culture scenario that this anime was not that great. Yes, there are better animes that were made. There are more. The animation is better in Demon Slayer than Elfen Lied. You know,
I mean, there are pieces of the storyline that I probably wouldn't have put in my story, but it's not my story.
But it's not our story, and I think that's something that, like, you know, people are harsh, especially on social media and all over the place. People are harsh.
Even we can be harsh,
and we're harsh as well.
I just gave that song an F.
But, you know, we're able to sit back and be like, you know, I understand why they did that. In our opinion, it got an F because we don't think it fits. They probably did.
But the goal here is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Absolutely. And, you know, for as much as this anime got ragged on, it also got a lot of praise because the story itself is very culturally and present.
It's relatable.
It's relatable. And especially as a woman. And I needed to add that because I'm all about like being a fair feminist. I don't feel like I'm a toxic feminist. I can see both sides and I enjoy that part about me. And after all of the reviewing and researching and things that we've done for this anime, it really is a good watch.
It's a great watch.
It's a good watch. It's got great music. The characters could be built a little bit better, but I feel like, you know, if we were to read the manga, it might be a little bit more. This is just one part of this storyline.
It's a very interesting anime, and it's definitely worth the watch. And I think that at least the reason I watch animes, or I don't really read that many books. I I like anime a lot because it is kind of a visual novel, and a bunch of them. So the cool thing about it for me is it gives me a chance to try to relate to other people in a different way, in a different culture, from a different culture. So
absolutely. And I think this week while you're in Florida, I might put that editorial that I have written out.
Technically,
on
when they're
Instagram.
listening to this, I'm already in Florida.
Why'd you have to remind me? You shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think later this week I'm going to. I kind of want to. For the people who don't watch anime or find it hard to relate to, I've written something down that I would really like to share with you. So stay tuned later this week on our Instagram for that, because
there's a bit of an editorial.
Yeah, and it's something that kind of resonates with me, and it might resonate with you, but I'm going to share it anyways, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much wraps up our episode. I think it's a good segue to say, thank you so much for listening. And if there's one thing that you can do for us, is just go to our Instagram page.
Give us a follow. We're not down your throats or anything like that.
No. It's really a community. It's for everybody to discuss their ideas on anime and for us to present arguments that we think and show anime and music that we like and get a chance to perform for you. And one thing that we've decided to do is add a few of our own editorials, why we like anime, why music, why sound design, why is audio so important? There's a lot of questions that we would like to share our ideas on with you. So please go to our Instagram page. It is at Anime Noise Podcast, at Anime Noise Podcast, all one word.
All lowercase.
All lowercase. Well, it's Instagram, so yeah.
You can find this anime on Hulu, and I'm sure on Amazon and all of those other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix doesn't have it. Crunchyroll doesn't have it. We watched it on Hulu. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening every week. It means a lot to us. We always have such a pleasure making these episodes for you.
We really do. It's so much fun.
It is. It's nice to feel productive.
Yeah, and just do something you love.
Yeah.
I love watching anime, so it's nice to learn about other people's cultures and show it to you guys.
Absolutely. And to close it out, whether you're cozied up with your own BBC or you're taking us with you for the ride, we are thrilled to share our nerdiness about anime, music, and sound effects.
That is right. So, that being said, go to our YouTube playlist and take a listen to the soundtrack and the intros and outros yourself if you'd like to do that before you watch it, or just, re-listen to it. So head to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
And other than that, I think that is it.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
bitches!
Christmas!
Yeah,
we love you all.
love
And
you.
tune in next week for another episode of Anime Noise.
Yes! Finishing out the year. Bam!
That's right. Oh, yeah, it'll be the 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bye!
Bye, guys.
This has been a Beanbag Chair Media production.